welcome to my video, Getting Tidier. Thank you so much for all your support over the last few days and my last videos, which I think I've got like record views on. You can probably hear that I'm in the car at the moment, and kind of not great news, but you know my part one that you've probably all watched and hopefully enjoyed, my manic part one of all the stuff we cleared out of my daughter's room. Unfortunately, there's no part two. And the reason why there's no part two is I did all the video, I did all the voiceover, I spent an hour doing the voiceover. It was going to look really good and you would have seen me get rid of so much stuff and clean up and sort out. But I do have problems with my phone memory with space, and so I have to constantly delete my videos and delete my voiceovers in order to create more space. Now unfortunately what I did was I don't know how I did it, and I don't know what I did, and I can't think about it too much because it's extremely frustrating, but somehow I've managed to delete nearly all the videos from part two. So I was like, I did shout a bit about it. I was so annoyed and upset, particularly as I'd spent all the time doing the voiceover. And then what's really hard is once you've done that, it's quite difficult, because like when I've read people's comments or told you what I've been up to, I don't want to repeat myself, so I then forget what I've told you and what I haven't forgotten you, what I haven't told you. So there's no part two, but in this video is part three of all the bits that I said were left to do in my daughter's room. So they are the windowsill, the top of the Chester drawers, and then I also need to sort out some stuff by the door and all the stuff behind, by the entrance of the door and also behind the door. Now, for those of you that have been following me for some time, you will remember that I sorted out these cupboards. Now, to me, it feels like I sorted them out just yesterday. Probably in reality, if I scroll all the way back through my videos, it might have been, I don't know, about 6 months ago, 7 months ago. So if you haven't looked through some of my older videos, please do. So I have got a different sort of mindset now because of your encouragement and because of kind of going back to things and looking at things differently. I start looking at things and thinking, like, why am I keeping those things? And it's the same with some of my clothes. You know, I was trying to find, I think it was some pyjamas I was trying to find a couple of days ago, and I could not find the pyjamas that I wanted to wear. And I pull out loads of other things that I haven't worn in 2 years, but because they are wearable and they don't have holes, and I feel like I should still be using them, I should still wear them even though I don't like them. Like one of the pajama tops is like got a real scratchy picture on the front, so I don't like it. I don't want it, but I keep it in the drawer. So now my mindset really has changed to get rid of things, and it's the same as these cupboards. There are things that I looked at and thought, oh yes, I might use them. Oh yes, they're there, you know, and I might come back to them. In reality, I'm not going to, and I just need to get rid of them. So my other news is what I've decided to do on this channel. I do get a very, very small amount of money each month from those of you that watch my videos, like my videos, comment on my videos. And if you get over a certain number of views, then you start getting a small amount of money. So as a bit of a plea, I don't very often say this, but would you, if you're watching this and you have not subscribed, please would you subscribe? And there's a really good reason for that, because if you subscribe and you watch maybe a little bit longer than what you normally would, for the next 2 months I'm going to donate all the money that I get to Natasha's Allergy Foundation. Now, for those of you that live in the United Kingdom, you might have heard about the charity. It's a charity doing a real lot of good work, standing up for people who've got allergies, trying to make the world safer for people who've got allergies. For those of you that don't know about the charity, please do look them up. They're doing some amazing work. They really struggle to get funding in comparison to other charities that grab the headlines a bit more. And so if you do subscribe, and if you do watch a little bit more of the video than you might normally watch, you will be helping to raise money for those charities, because the next 2 months, everything that I make on my channel, I'm going to be donating. So thank you in advance for those of you that do watch a little bit more or do like and do subscribe. So the last few days have been really busy. I'm sorry if I repeat myself, because as I said, I've already done this audio once and I've kind of, you lose track of what I talked about on part one. But it was quite funny the other day. My daughter was watching her normal YouTubers. She watches some Italian YouTubers on TV, and I was just looking on my phone. It's one of these programs like Extreme Cleaners with Extreme Hoarders. So my daughter came over and she said, "Oh, what's that?" And she started looking at the screen, and I said, "Well, we can put it on the television if you want to watch it." So we put it on, and honestly, it was absolutely incredible. So there's like these 4 cleaners who are like, they spend 4 hours a day cleaning. Their houses are completely minimalist, so they can just wipe over everything. I mean, they probably look at my house and think that they'd class me as a hoarder, I reckon, compared to their house. And then they paired them with 4 people that were hoarders. And to be honest, some of the people looked like they hadn't cleaned their houses in about 30 years. I won't go into detail about one of the man's houses in his bathroom, because some of you might be eating lunch or dinner or something, but it was grotesque. At one point, one of the ladies who's really into cleaning, she picked up something from John's table and she says, "John, is this a tooth?" I kid you not. And he says, "Oh yes, that's one of the teeth that I had pulled out." And she said, "Why is it on the bureau? Why have you not put it away? Even better, put it in the bin." He said, "Oh, because I thought that was a very good specimen of one of my teeth." And you look at it and the camera zooms in and you can honestly see how it's all rotting. And then he picks up this bottle of Coke underneath piles of papers, piles of rubbish, piles of stuff. And she says, "Oh, what's that?" And they look at the date. And this bottle of Coke was 2 years out of date. So the man undoes the bottle of Coke, and the lady's going, "No, don't drink it, John, don't drink it." And then he drinks loads of it, and she said, "I can't believe you're doing that, just put it in the bin." And then he says, "Oh, but if I pour it down the sink, that makes me feel really bad about wasting." And I thought, that's quite interesting, isn't it? Like, because I've talked a little bit before about getting rid of things, and then it's almost like he's at like this real extreme level of not wanting to waste things. There was another lady who I felt really sorry for her, and she said that she'd got obsessive compulsive disorder, and one of the cleaners that she was paired with started laughing, because people always assume that people with OCD are like clean freaks, and obviously that is not the case. Sometimes that can be connected to getting rid of things. And what she said was that she that caused her great pain and great challenges to let things go, particularly when she finds things like craft activities or books that her children have now outgrown, and she hasn't done them with them because she feels guilty and she feels bad and she feels like this sort of like sense of letting the children down. And that was like how she dealt with, and that's how she has the OCD. So keeping control is about keeping hold of things. She's got all these dolls, and there was one doll that had got like one arm missing and one leg missing, and she said a while ago she decided, "I'm going to get rid of this because it's silly keeping a dog without an arm and without a leg." But then she told herself, well, the doll was just disabled, and Toy Story have disabled toys, and so she needed to keep the doll. Was thankfully this cleaner that came in really supported her to get rid of things, and they managed to fill up like a whole skip. Although they only really did, I think they did 3 rooms. So all the other rooms were in a right state, and one of her little boys, he said he can't have anyone round to play, and if they do come round to play, they have to play board games in his bed because there's no other space in the rest of his bedroom. So we were enjoying watching that. So when you could hear me doing the voiceover in the car, I'm sorry that wasn't very good audio. I'm not going to do that again. But we were on the way to a barbecue. So a man who I do invigilating with, he lives out in the country with his wife, and he invited all the invigilators for dinner. It was going to be a barbecue, but unfortunately it absolutely pelted it down. So it was still a barbecue, but we ate indoors. They have got a stunning house. I should think their lounge is about the size of my lounge and dining room put together. Then they've got a kitchen diner, which is probably the size of my entire downstairs. They've got a lovely swimming pool, and they're really lovely people. They were saying about how they're asset rich but cash poor. And of course we went as a family, although the other invigilators just came by themselves. They didn't bring their husband, wife, children. I think it's probably because I'm the youngest. I'm the only one with like a younger child. So I didn't for one second think that I was just being invited, just me. I just assumed. And it's quite nice because you went last year as well. And my husband chats away to the man who invited us. So we had a really nice time. But whenever I'm invited around someone's house who I don't know that well, what I tend to do is, like, for instance, we took the burgers that my daughter can have. So she can obviously eat meat, or meat and fish. But a lot of burgers, you'd be shocked if some of you probably read all the ingredients very carefully, because I know others of you have got allergies and intolerances. But I'm always amazed that when I read, some burgers have got like about 20 ingredients, and you sort of think, really, you know, why all these extra things being added? So we took her burgers. He said that he didn't want anything bought, so we got a really nice bunch of flowers, like all lilies and roses, and some wine. So we took those, and then when I got there, I just said, oh, like, my daughter's got a number of allergies, because I thought they're not going to have remembered from last time. Thinking about it, I think last time we went, we just had, don't think we had a dinner. We just had like tea, coffee, biscuits type thing. So we just brought my daughter's biscuits with us. But then when I then mentioned it to the lady who's the host, she then said, oh, actually, I'm waiting for a gallbladder operation and I can't have any fat. So I've got a really, really strict diet. So she was saying all the things that she couldn't eat. And then we just talked about diet generally. And then when all the food came out, they'd done this lovely herby potatoes and a salad and beetroot. And then the son cooked all the food, and he did a separate section for my daughter's burgers and my daughter's chicken, which I thought was very, very kind and considerate, and cooked it all separately. And I felt very relaxed about the whole thing. And she had a big plate full of food. So it went really well. We had a lovely time, really lovely. If it had been sunny, I was going to message before to say, can I bring my swimming suit and have a swim in the pool? But because it was torrential rain, obviously we didn't suggest that. Okay, so I'm going to go through a few of your comments now. And let's hope I don't read some of the same ones out. Because as I've already told you, I've recorded this voiceover. This is like third time lucky. So I'm thinking that I haven't read these ones out. So the first one is from Zoe Brindle. And she says, well done, Poppet. Tooth all sorted. So you may remember me talking about my daughter needing some dentistry work done. So yeah, we're really pleased that that's all sorted out. And now we can move on to getting some things done that need to be done by the allergist. So that'll be good. So Zoe says, well done. Another lovely family day out. How lovely getting so close to those animals. Emma, you really are conquering the clutter. I love that. Or the alliteration. Emma, you really are conquering the clutter. There's a saying, less is more. So true. The less we have, the more time we have for ourselves and family. Keep it up, Emma. Watching you is encouraging us all to declutter. Thanks so much. Sending love. And then she sent me some flowers. Thank you very much, Zoe. Janet says, wow, the coast was beautiful. You've made so much progress. Decluttering is a never-ending journey. I agree, Janet. And also it's about mindset, because when I thought I was decluttering a year ago, that was very different to decluttering 6 months ago, which is very different to my standard of decluttering 3 months ago. And now I know, for example, I could go into the pantry and get rid of loads more because I've got a different perspective. Next is watching till Jesus comes. So watching till Jesus comes says, I love your channel. I like listening to you talk. I'm from Indiana in the United States. Now I think that this might be my first or second follower from Indiana. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it is. She says, the coast is lovely. I went to England when I was 15 on a mission trip. I spent 2 days in London, then on to Aberdare, Wales for 10 days. It was a wonderful experience. I think something like that, well, when you're any age, but certainly when you're 15, and that might have been your first like major trip, certainly potentially away from your family, you'll never ever forget that. Never. Well, I hope you can come and visit London again and spend more time. I'm on various different travel groups on social media, and I always think it's really interesting when people say, I've got 7 days. What do you think about a trip? 2 days to London, 2 days to Paris, and 3 days in Barcelona. And I'm like always so shocked. I know that Europe must seem very, very small to those of you in the United States. But I've been to London so many times, many, many, many times, and I still don't know a tenth of it, probably 1/100th of it. London is such a big city. There are so many things to see. Of course, you've got all the main monuments and all the really obvious things to go and visit, but then you've got, you know, the lesser known things, the secret things, the rooftop gardens. You can go into the Houses of Parliament if you organise that in advance, although they won't allow you to sit in the seats for the House of Commons or the House of Lords. That was what I bought actually for my husband's 40th birthday. That was part of his birthday present. There's so many places. There are pubs and restaurants which have got secret rooms and secret areas. You have to say like a certain password in order to get access to them. So there's lots and lots of things to go and see in London, and obviously Paris and Barcelona are the same. So I always say to when I see that post, I always say, no, you can't see London, Paris and Barcelona in a week. You couldn't see London, Paris and Barcelona in 4 weeks. Next comment, video games historian says, went to IKEA the other day with my 3-year-old granddaughter and she decided to take a cloth to clean one of the ovens. Oh, so funny and cute. That is funny and cute. Oh, you'd have to take a little like video and then share it with the parents and then keep it, because that's that sort of thing that you've commented on my video here, but you might forget in the future, that sort of cute thing. I sometimes look back at my videos that I've done, and some of the videos my daughter's done like using my phone, and she wants to delete them, and I always want to keep them because I think it like captures that moment in time. Carolyn Quinn says, that's a great idea from the lady in Ohio. Clear the room except for furniture. That way you could work on the paint and the carpets. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know whether I said in my last video, so sorry if I am repeating myself, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist, like with the woodwork. I will feel that I can't do the skirting boards properly unless the carpet has been pulled right back and they're all sanded down and repainted. You just can't do the skirting boards properly unless you move the carpet away. Which it makes me think, is it common to have skirting boards in other countries? I'm not sure whether I've really noticed them in Italy. They have like the marble floors or wooden floors. I can't remember seeing skirting boards. In England, it's very much dependent upon the age of the house. So we've got skirting boards in our house. And my daughter's just waved at me and I stopped doing the video for a bit because she says that her YouTubers in Italy, she has seen that they also have skirting boards. So we do know that skirting boards are common in Italy as well. Well, maybe not common, but people do have them. Not really sure what the purpose of skirting boards are. To look nice? I'm not sure. In one of our rooms, I think we had like some woodworm or something, and so we took a piece of the skirting board because there's all the old measurements, and we took them to a place and had them made identically the same. So you can see now there's a video starts of my daughter's bedroom. So you will see how much is improved. Sadly, you didn't get to see part 2 because I deleted all those videos, but you can see all what I've cleared up. There's still a few bits and pieces about, I know that, but there's still so much more improved. And you'll see me clean and reorganise the windowsill and the chest of drawers and sort out some other bits and pieces. What I often do is I have a big sort out, then I end up leaving like a pile of things on the floor which get left and added to. Next comment from Jane. So Jane has put, hello lovely, I've just stopped cleaning and having a little rest before I put my washing out. It's non-stop here. I've also been decluttering and managed to get rid of 5 black bags full, which will go to charity tomorrow. Well done, Jane. Are they clothes? What have you decluttered? That's fantastic. Also, my son is in Norfolk with his dad. He stays there for the 6 weeks. I'm sure that's not far from Norfolk. It is. It's very close to Norfolk. Suffolk joins to Norfolk. Whereabouts in Suffolk? I know Lowestoft well. I know Ipswich quite well. So Jane lives in Nottingham, and she says, I'll stop going on now. Have a lovely day. But that's fantastic, getting rid of all 5 bags, all that extra space you've created in your house. Teddy says, I love your videos. I'm from Australia. Welcome. Karen Howard, sitting here giggling, not sure where I put them, in my safe place. Thanks for the smile. Yeah, whenever I can't find something, I do sit and think, well, where would my safe place be? If I was about to put this item in my safe place, what would I consider my safe place to be? But the safe place is often forgotten. Video games historian said my daughter always had her feet measured and we bought quality branded shoes, but her feet still ended up with problems due to issues with her legs. We had visited bone specialists when she was in primary and then a chiropodist who found it was tight tendons in her legs. As parents, we try to do our best, but sometimes things do not work out. If you use a damp cloth, it will help keep dust down and then your daughter may be able to help. Thank you for that, video games historian. That is exactly what I've been doing. I have been using damp cloths since you said about that, because I thought dry cloths are going to stive all the dust into the air, aren't they? And as for your comment, I think you're so right. What more could you have done? You did more than like what other parents would have done, taking your daughter to bone specialists in the hope that they would be able to help. And then a chiropodist. I just think you're right. Sometimes, as parents, we just try to do the best we can, and something still ends up happening. It just at the time, the whole thing with my daughter's tooth, which is what sort of sparked the comment from the video games historian. Just the whole thing really upset me, and I found it actually quite difficult to talk about. But I'm just so relieved it's sorted out now. Sandy says, yes, I was born in Middletown, Ohio, now in Arkansas. I'm going to do a couple more comments and then I'm going to go back to my video. So, Elizabeth Paul, 989, she says, I watch a lot of decluttering YouTube channels. They all say the same things. Get rid of excess things in the house to make tidying easier. Yes, you have all shown me that. I agree with that. I didn't understand that to begin with. I just thought I was really untidy. It's just the fact that I was just trying to tidy up clutter, wasn't I? So you really don't have to watch all of them unless you enjoy watching them. The Space Maker videos are interesting because she travels quite a bit and helps people living in Asia. Oh, that's interesting. 2 of her series recently are very motivational. I look forward to her videos. I enjoy seeing how people live in other countries. I enjoy watching your life in the UK. It's a welcome change from the American YouTubers. Oh, that's a nice thing to say. Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm in Canada, so seeing Americans so often on my timeline makes me appreciate your UK perspective. That's a nice thing to say. I love the fact that we're from all different places. I really do. Then Sharon, Mummy, says, Emma, it sounds like your daughter likes a lot of what I liked as a little girl. I loved being given a list to go through, made me feel like I'd accomplished and helped my mum or dad or whoever. It also made me look at things as I grew and make my own lists, and now I'm super organised as an adult. I'm still writing lists when I have lots to do, even Christmas and holiday organising or decorating. I loved hearing about you paying it forward like that. I do that all the time. I just like nothing more than feeling like I've made a difference to someone who might really need it. I do it all the time. I'm a bit addicted to it, I'm afraid. I think I've had such loss it makes me feel better somehow. Oh, that's lovely. A lady near my home was in hospital with her husband, who was in the end stages of Alzheimer's. She was coming and going with her 3 adult daughters from early hours to late and coming home exhausted. So I organised home delivery of shopping, groceries, milk, tea, coffee, soups, easy to cook and eat things that she could take to hospital with biscuits, chocolates and flowers. I wished I could have done it without her knowing who I was, but my name was on the receipt for the shopping. She came later, after her husband passed away, 3 days later, and said I'd been a blessing and had made such a difference being able to not worry about getting milk or having something in the cupboard and fridge already, and that she and her daughters loved having the chocolates and biscuits in the room during those long days. It's so small, but I believe you can be the person that's answering someone's prayers. Oh, that has made me feel very emotional reading that. What a lovely thing to do. I think you're right, Sharon. We don't know the impact that we can have on people. We really don't, do we? What a lovely thing to do. And particularly at that very difficult time in that lady's life. And then the final comment for today is from Sean Daniels. And Sean has written, "Hi Emma, it's lovely to see you. Put the rabbit certificate with the school certificates for that year. Yeah, good idea. Keep gathering like with like. Yes, get 3 memory boxes for the 3 of you and start consolidating. So my daughter now has a memory Kallax box, but it's Kallax box size, but it's part of the end cupboards, the end of her bed in her bedroom. Such a beautiful view of your garden out of your kitchen window. Oh, thank you. I do like standing there and doing the washing up and looking out at my garden. Kitchen counters looking cluttered again. Keep going with the kitchen. It's continuous." Yeah, you're right. I have let myself down with the kitchen, and I've let all of you down. The kitchen has really got into a bad state. But what I find really hard is keeping all the balls in the air. I really do. I've struggled with that. So I am sorry about that. I need to find out a better way of being able to do the kitchen and keep the kitchen maintained as well as my projects. Now, a couple of you have suggested ideas and comments about that, as to do something, cook something smaller in the kitchen, but I am blessed with the fact that my husband does nearly all of the meals, but he does all the cooking. I then need to do the clearing up because he can't be expected to do both. But when I'm sort of sorting out something in one room, I can't also be doing the kitchen. I find that all a bit of a challenge, but we'll see. Okay, so Sean Daniels then says, "Lounge is looking great. White laundry as white as ever. Looking forward to pulling out the Halloween decorations and decluttering more of that." So is that you or me? Sean Daniels, are you going to be decluttering Halloween decorations, or are you looking forward to me getting them all out? And then she says, "Did you toss your supply of mosquito repellent? Keep well." Yes, I did. And I took out, goodness me, there were so many bottles, but I've got to be honest, the bag is still sitting in the hall. And the reason why the bag's sitting in this hall is I feel absolutely awful about putting them all in the bin, because there's a warning on them that says may have lasting impact to aquatic wildlife. And I think if I'm going to put that in the bin, that's going to go into landfill somewhere, isn't it? And then what are the long-term consequences for insects, fish, newts, frogs? So I'm still trying to think where I should actually put that. And there's nothing on the label because I guess they assume that people are going to use it all up. They don't assume that people are going to have any left. Of course, I've got, I'd say each container is probably half full or 3/4 full. So hopefully you've been enjoying watching the video and everything that I've been doing in my daughter's room. Cleaning the windowsill, getting rid of things on the windowsill. There was a dead plant, some other things she doesn't want anymore, so they've gone to the charity shop. Although we did very nearly, because she liked pandas for a very, very long time and had this lovely collection of pandas. And there were a couple, she said, "Oh no, they're faded, I don't want them anymore." So we put them in the charity bag because I thought I don't really want to see them on the sale table. And then the day after we realised they're actually from the Playmobil set that she does want to keep. She's got the Noah's Ark Playmobil set, so we had to quickly go through the bags. And incredibly, my husband had put all the bags and the box and everything in the car, but hadn't taken it to the charity shop. So my husband went out and looked for the 2 little pandas, and they hadn't disappeared to the charity shop. Otherwise, I'd have had to go to the charity shop and buy them back, wouldn't I? So you can see here, this was sort of very, very cluttered, and I'm not saying it's still not, it is still quite cluttered, but it's much, much better after I went through everything. So again, some things have gone to the charity shop, some things have gone into the bag for our sale. I had to stop recording then because my daughter called me. You could probably hear her on the video. I'm hoping to organise a charity convoy of Fiat 500s. And my daughter was just excited because she said that, Daddy had found something on his phone about the East Coast truckers. But of course, the East Coast trucker convoy, for those of you that have ever heard of it, is slow moving vehicles. So that's quite a different convoy. So I was going to tell you about this. So I'd had this idea a while ago to organise a convoy of Fiat 500s, and I was thinking how it could be done for charity, and now I've just decided to do it for real. It's not going to be until next year, but I've started organising everything. So I've contacted the local authority and I've contacted the police just to kind of see what the rules are, and then I'm gathering everybody together. Ideally, I'd like about 40 cars to be part of a convoy, and I think we'll do it so it's sponsored, and also maybe each car could pay like £5 to join in or something. But I'm still working that through. So that's what she was calling me about. So you can see I'm sitting on the floor with all these things that I've taken off the top of the chest of drawers. So I'm dusting each of the items, and then we're making a decision. So every single item, I'm asking my daughter whether she wants to keep it or not. Now, a couple of times when we were doing this, she said, oh yeah, get rid of that. And I was like, are you sure? She said, I feel under pressure to get rid of it. I said, no. This is not about forcing you to get rid of things that you don't want to get rid of. If you want to keep it, if you still like it, if it still makes you happy, then keep it. If you don't want it, you can get rid of it. So we went through every single item and made a decision on every item. So we managed to get rid of quite a lot. And given that we went through all the hair bands and the hair clips and the slides and everything not that long ago, we managed to get rid of quite a few more bits and pieces. Some of the things I've been quite sort of strict with in terms of I just don't think they're going to sell very well at the sale. So I think there's no point, taking them along to a sale or having the sale, and whether we have the sale in the garden or a car boot sale, there's no point keeping hold of them. So I have got rid of them. There's also some things that belong to me, and I decided to find a place for them in my daughter's room, which I've decided now to take out. So there were a couple of Egyptian items that my uncle brought me back when I was a little girl. Well, brought back to give our family, really. Like, there's an Egyptian plate and Egyptian, like, little pyramids, and I put them in my daughter's room. She doesn't really like them. She doesn't really want them. And I just kind of put them in there because I didn't want them in my lounge or dining room. So I've taken them out of her room now. So I try to go through all the hair clips and hair bands, the Alice bands, to be really strict with those, and only keep the things that she's definitely going to wear at some point soon. I was also going to update you on the last couple of days. Obviously, I said about the barbecue, but I haven't said about a couple of other things. So I had Thursday off, and my dad was allowed to come out for the day, which was nice of his partner to allow that. So we had a lovely day. My dad, me and my daughter. I talked about this before. I find it a little bit challenging in the situation that I like to spend time with my dad. I think it's really important to spend time with my dad, and the same for my daughter, spend time with granddad. And I do see a fair amount of his partner, but I do like to spend just time with my dad. Now, when I speak to my friends, they seem to understand that. Of course, they might just be like nodding and agreeing because they think that's what I want to hear. But his partner just doesn't understand that. She feels like he shouldn't be going out anywhere without her being there. And she doesn't seem to understand. She thinks it's about her and that I don't want to be with her, as opposed to it's got nothing to do with, it's not because of her, it's because of my dad. I want to spend time with my dad. And, when your parents aren't together, is a different setup. It's a different arrangement. They're not with the people that they're with. They're not blood relations, so you're not going to have the same connection with them as your actual mum or dad. So I decided to come up with this sort of compromise. I think partly, I feel it's harder when, I'm actually taking holiday from work on Thursday, and I'm taking the holiday. I don't get like loads of holiday. All the holiday I do have, I use in the holidays that my daughter has from school, so I can maximise the time that I'm off, and I nearly cover the whole of the holidays with all my annual leave. And then I book the time off from work, and then I get to spend the time with my dad's partner. I just want to spend it with like my daughter and my dad, or my mum or my sister or friends. Anyway, I decided that maybe I needed to come up with some sort of compromise. So I messaged my dad, because we have this every half term, and there ends up being like this big fuss because he's not allowed out without his partner. And so I decided that I'd message and say, I'm off for the next 2 Thursdays. Why don't we do something, me, my daughter, you and your partner, for one of the Thursdays, and for the other Thursday, are you able just to come out so we can have quality time with you and with, as granddad? And so that was agreed. So we had a lovely time. We went to the coast, had a little look round. My daughter enjoyed it. We went on one of the slides, the sort of the wavy slides, and I had a go as well. And that was really nice. It was quite overcast. We looked, and we were so pleased because they were selling Marshfield ice cream, which is the ice cream with no dairy, but unfortunately not in tubs. And then so my daughter decided to have some cockles, and she loves cockles, but she ate a couple, and I think they must have been frozen because they were chewy. And then I said to her, well, if you think about it, it's August. The best months for cockles are the months with R's in. So August, so like June, July, August, not a good time to have them. So I bet you they were probably frozen. So that's why they didn't taste very nice. She went back and put more vinegar on them, and they didn't taste any better. So unfortunately, they went in the bin. So I hate that sort of waste, but there's no point eating them when they taste, chewy. So that was Thursday. And then Friday, I was at work all day, and I've got to be honest, I really begrudge working when my daughter is off. So my husband does the shorter day on Friday, particularly in the holidays. He doesn't book much in, so he does a short day. When she's at school, he ends up pretty much doing a full Friday, but certainly in the holidays, he does a short day. So there's a couple of small things that he needed to do, but they went off into the city together, and I worked all day. And then I also had to work in the evening to catch up on some things. I do feel like there's a big juggle, particularly in the holidays, with these 2 jobs. It really is, because I feel like, well, every evening, really, I need to be doing both jobs to catch up. And what I decided when I went to Italy, and I was thinking about this as I was sitting by the side of the pool, I thought I've got into the habit of working too many evenings. I really have. Now, I don't mind so much when my husband puts on like some film or some series, which is not my sort of thing at all. And I don't mind working then, but otherwise I just think it's not really very good for my well-being. I used to go out in the garden. I used to be in the garden until it was like dark. It's obviously much better for you than what it is sitting on the sofa working. I do have to work in the evenings on some days to ensure that I'm doing the right sort of amount of hours, and so I don't fall behind with things. But I do feel like I'm doing too many hours. Although it was too many evenings. Well, it was funny the other day. I decided not to work in the evening, and then my husband put something about Steve, a sports personality, and I said, are you joking? But I think he's got so used to I don't even very good using my TV controller. He's got so used to putting on whatever he wants in the evenings, because I'm like usually working, so not really fussed what's on. So that was Friday. Obviously Saturday morning until sort of 2:30ish, when we went to the barbecue, we were working in the house. And then today is Sunday when I'm now doing this voiceover, and we decided to go to church in the morning. When I woke up, I felt so tired. I said, "Oh, like should we not go this week?" And my husband said, "Well, should we go to the 11:30 service?" And I said, "Oh no, because 11:30 just is so late. By the time the service is finished, it's then like over lunchtime." And then I suddenly heard my daughter call my name. So I thought, well, if she's awake, because I was worried about her being tired, and I'm trying to get her back into the routine because she's going to be, back to having to get up at 7 for school. So she was awake. So I thought, perfect. If she's awake, we can all get up. And we went to the 9 o'clock service. So, and then the rest of the afternoon, we've been tidying up, sorting out. I went into the garden and spent a little bit of time watering my plants and also planting my kohlrabi. So the beans that I told you about before, they've done very well. Nothing came of the peas. I had one pea pod that had one pea in that my daughter ate. I think I was too late with the peas. And then I think they also got frazzled in the really hot weather. It's a couple of days of really hot weather. And my solar powered watering system wasn't working because those leaves were over it. So they got frazzled. But the kohlrabi were all in the greenhouse and ready to be potted into the garden. The only thing I think with kohlrabi is obviously one plant is one bulb. And we roast them like roast potatoes. So I was thinking, like, if you put 10 out, 10 is probably only 3 meals worth. So I was trying to put them fairly close together to get as many in my little bed as possible. So I was doing that for a bit. And then tomorrow is Bank Holiday Monday in the United Kingdom. Well, in England, I'm not sure if it's the rest of the United Kingdom. Certainly in England, it's the end of the summer bank holiday. So we've decided to work hard on Sunday afternoon, and then we're going to go out somewhere together Monday. So that'll be nice. And then we start my daughter's birthday celebrations. So Tuesday at the moment is quite clear, so I'll be finishing off a few bits and pieces. So I'm working in the morning, and then I'll finish off some bits and pieces. In the evening, my mum has agreed to do my daughter's dinner and have her for a couple of hours because me and my husband need to go and do some decorating. So we need to do some painting. That's Tuesday. Then Wednesday, she's got her party for her friends. So a few of them are going to go to the cinema and then go to a restaurant afterwards. And then Thursday is clear at the moment. And then Friday, she's going to have all her family come round because that's her big birthday celebration. So she's looking forward to that. So my daughter's just gone to bed. I've got washing up to do. I've got some clearing up to do. I've got a dessert to eat. And I need to do around an hour of work tonight on the laptop. So there's a couple of reports I need to prep. And I'm delivering a couple of quite sort of significant pieces of work in September. A couple of people wanted me to do things in August, and I was able to put them off for September time. But that now means that I've got them all at the same time. So I think I've got 3 management meetings to attend. No, 4, all in the month of September, and 2 or 3 lots of training. So I'll be busy when the schools go back. So thank you very much for watching my video. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your suggestions. I appreciate them all. I read them all, and I find them very helpful and sort of motivational and encourages me really. Some of you are really so inspiring, and I don't think you all realise that. So thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.